alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to Somaliland National TV News in English with me, Mohammed Abdul Hakim. We're here to bring you the important news from Somaliland, and these are the headlines. President of Somaliland, Ahmed Mohamed Mahmoud Silanyo, received U.S. Ambassador James Swan at presidential office. An exclusive interview with Mandesta Group at the Vice President office. Minister of Health, UNICEF and other organizations held a press conference. An agreement between the Ministry of Information and Somaliland Journalists Association was confirmed. President Ahmed Mohamed Mahmoud Silanyo received the U.S. Ambassador James Swan at the Presidential Palace and discussed the issues of mutual consent between the two countries.
The President of Somaliland, His Excellency Ahmed Mohamed Mahmoud Silanyo, had a meeting with the ambassador from the U.S., Mr. James Swan, who is on a 2-day visit to Somaliland. Many issues were discussed in this meeting, including peace in the Horn of Africa and the piracy in Somalia. They also talked about ways to improve the relations between Somaliland and the U.S. The President expressed his appreciation to the support received from the U.S., in particular their commitment to public services, the economic growth and security, as each point is vital parts of the Somaliland's development. Mr. Swan mentioned that his country supports the obvious development of Somaliland in all fields and will continue collaborating with Somaliland. Mr. Swan discussed the U.S. dual-track policy in further detail and how it pertains to Somaliland. He continued to add that this trip was designed to upgrade a 15-year-long relationship between Somaliland and the U.S. He also congratulated Somaliland on its progress on building a democracy based on security over the last 10 years. During his visit, the ambassador met with high-ranking government officials and other agencies as well to oversee the U.S. project currently underway in Somaliland.
Following Ambassador Swan's visit to the Presidential Palace, he later held a short press conference.
We have stepped up, increased our assistance programming here in Somaliland, and I had an opportunity during my visit to meet with several of the United States implementing partners here who are working in the areas of democracy governance and community development and direct support to several of the Somaliland government ministries.
An exclusive interview with Mandesta Group, the mining company contracted by the Somaliland government to collect samples for mineral research activities, with our field reporter Adan Mohammed Osman.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Nubian Gold, its name's being changed to Mandesta right now, came here in July, August last year to gain mineral exploration and mining licenses in the country. We were granted those licenses. It's 4,000 square kilometers north of Hargeisa. And since then, we've initiated a work program where what we're doing is sampling streams, dry stream beds for the sediments, and sieving the sediments to a very fine fraction, and then taking those fine clay-sized fractions and delivering them to a laboratory in Canada for analysis, geochemical analysis. We're analyzing those samples for a broad range of elements: copper, lead, zinc, gold, silver, also niobium, tantalum, beryllium, and many other elements. And we're finding positive signs now. Well, there's two aspects to your question. One is the job training that's going on site. Right now we have 30 Somalis employed full-time, and there are several geologists and geological technicians working on the property. What I'd like to do actually is pass the microphone over to Remy, because Remy's over.
And we've been hired here to do these jobs that Nubian Gold is willing to do, exploration job. As mentioned, we have here a team of 30 people, including 5 Somali geologists, and we need a job to be done. So our workshop is focusing on getting them into a professional international standards for applying all these techniques on the field. Besides, we have a large crew of samplers, lab operators, and all the people that need to support the logistics of such an operation. And day by day, we provide the necessary training and mentoring for them to be able to be professionals. up to our standards. And I would say it's a very exciting project, and they're very committed and enthusiastic, so it makes it something very, very exciting for us geologists to come here.
That's really. And Mr. Mohammed, obviously you were previously an ambassador for Somaliland to Canada. How did that play a significant role in, easing liaisons or the transition from bringing the company here to Somaliland in terms of working with the government?
That's a good question, but actually it takes big time, take 2 years, to prepare all these. I've been actually feasting and sit with the ministers, for the Canadian ministers, foreign ministers, and the parliament, and it takes actually 2 years to recognize I'm the one who's representative in Somaliland, and actually they accept, and it was a great. And then I start to attract the companies to bring our country, because here is a 95% unemployed, and we didn't get the recognition, and we don't get aid directly from government to the government, it's NGOs, and imagine the whole country is running to the NGOs, So I do my best, to bring, the companies, and I'm happy with that. Nubian is here, which a Canadian company, and I hope it will come another 30 or 35 companies, which will work, together with, the international company. And I hope this can be a success, in the future we will see, to get the recognition for this country. Thank you.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Hussein Mohammed Mahmoud Hob, held a joint press conference with international organizations and raised previous year's accomplishments as well as current year objectives and goals.
The Ministry of Health today held a press conference with various organizations that work with the ministry in ensuring productivity within the health sector. This conference detailed the Ministry of Health's achievements as well as other international organizations and their accomplishments in the previous year. Furthermore, the involved parties elaborated on future objectives and goals, highlighting the need for more cooperation and collaboration between all parties involved in the health sector. The Minister of Health stated,
"To speak honestly, I feel that UNICEF is below my expectation, and there are gaps and concerns. Some areas of concerns are: we have 87 functioning MCHs. Only 80 of them are supported by UNICEF, while neglecting the remaining functional health facilities. About 10 of these 87 MCHs need rehabilitations. Only one MCH has been rehabilitated this year, which is the WMCH. And really, it was really not informed to us. Just I saw in a normal visit that I visited to Kabyle that the MCH has changed and became another new MCH, but we were not informed. About 10 of them need rehabilitation, while some others need extensions. There are very populated villages where there are many women and children who need to build health facilities as they have right to health. We decided as a Ministry of Health to reach the number of MCHs up to 100 this year. They can be built by some other organizations or by diaspora, as it's not your mandate, as you mentioned. But we need the supplies from UNICEF side. Less or nothing has been done in reproductive health. 50% of our MCHs cannot provide basic emergency obstetric care services, and no training given to the nurse and midwives of these health facilities. Many health facilities have no sterile delivery kits. the medical supplies are insufficient and non-standardized. Two quarters were having different supplies. There is no single injectable antibiotic. So how we can save a child in a village where there is no even private pharmacy who has severe pneumonia?
Other participants included UNICEF head Ms. Ita, who spoke about the UN's role in Somaliland's health sector.
To review the progress made in 2011. So as Kader mentioned, I hope it will be a really frank and open dialogue over the next 2 days. There's a lot of ground to cover, and starting today we need to look back at the lessons learned and the progress made in 2011.
An agreement was drafted and signed by Soldier Chairman Hassan Mohammed Yusuf and the Director General of the Ministry of Information and Guidance Faisal Ali Sheikh, in which both parties agreed upon laws for protecting journalists.
The articles of the agreement are the following. The government to spread and implement Journalist Law 27 of 2004 as it was legalized by the Parliament and signed by the former President. Both concerned partners of the media and government are to cooperate in improving the previous law in order to complete the media law. The journalists work to form the Journalist Ethics Committee effectively. All parties should unite in protecting the national security and sovereignty of Somaliland. The government is expected to promote and take part in the development of journalists and the media.
The Director General of the Ministry of Education, Mr. Mohammed Hassan Ibrahim, received donation from Caritas.
The donation ceremony, which was held in the offices of Caritas Somaliland in Hargeisa, with the Director General of the Ministry of Education and Higher Studies, also joined by the head of Caritas in Somaliland and other important figures, were present. At the occasion, the head of Caritas Somaliland, Ms. Noura Magan, spoke about the relationship between Caritas and the Ministry on developing educational quality, also pointing out that they would like to continue with this collaboration. Furthermore, the head of informal education at the Ministry of Education, Mr. Hussein Darod, stated that the ministry was in need of capacity building and increasing officers. Finally, the Director General of the Ministry of Education and Higher Studies, Mr. Hassan Mohammed Ibrahim, gave thanks to Caritas for its donation to these future officers and educational materials. He also emphasized that they would continue to maintain and strengthen the existing relationship between his ministry and Caritas.
And that's the summary of our news. Thanks for watching and hope you've enjoyed the news. For myself and the entire team here in Somaliland National TV News in English, we wish you a farewell until next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.